In the shadowed depths of the heavenly tomb, Xiao Yan stood on the brink of fate. Episode 156 of Battle Through the Heavens begins not with action, but with destiny unfolding, where ancient bloodlines and buried legacies intertwine. After surviving relentless pursuit from two terrifying Dou Zun-level energy bodies of the Soul Palace, Xiao Yan found himself overwhelmed. Just as their fatal strikes neared, an overwhelming pressure tore through the void. The two Soul Palace pursuers were instantly obliterated, turned into dust by a single palm. The hand that struck them down belonged to none other than the legendary ancestor of the Xiao clan, Xiao Xuan himself. Xiao Xuan appeared before Xiao Yan, a soul that had lingered for centuries, waiting for this very moment. With gentle firmness, he guided Xiao Yan into the ancient tomb and unveiled the truth behind the fall of their clan. Xiao Xuan, once the brightest hope of the Xiao clan, had once gathered the bloodline power of the entire family to break into the legendary Dou Di realm. But ambition came with a price. Though he failed to ascend, his downfall was not due to incompetence, but betrayal. The Soul clan, cunning and ruthless, ambushed him during his attempt. He perished with regret, not because of failure, but because he could not protect his clan from decline. As they walked deeper into the tomb, Xiao Xuan told Xiao Yan the truth about his incomplete mastery of the three mysterious changes of Skyfire. Xiao Yan had never cultivated the clan pattern, and without true bloodline power, the technique could not unleash its full potential. But this would change today. With quiet resolution, Xiao Xuan revealed that everything he had preserved over the centuries, every drop of power, every trace of energy, was for this moment. He had been waiting, watching, for a descendant worthy of inheriting it all. He smiled, walked into the pool at the heart of the tomb, and released a radiant, blood-red light from his body. It flowed from his feet into the water, transforming the clear pool into a crimson lake of power. As his essence left him, his black hair faded to white, and his youthful face withered into the visage of an old man. Yet he remained proud. Xiao Yan looked on, heart aching. He tried to speak, to protest, but Xiao Xuan shook his head. He explained that he had sealed a portion of Dou Di bloodline within himself, enough to create a new heir to carry the legacy of the Xiao clan. Though just a remnant soul, he placed his final hopes on Xiao Yan. The blood-red pool surged with immense power. As Xiao Yan stood at its edge, he could feel his own blood boiling. Xiao Xuan told him it was time. With a solemn breath, Xiao Yan stepped into the pool, and his body was instantly pierced by countless strands of burning energy. Agonizing pain flooded through him as the blood within him was forcibly expelled, cleansing the old to make way for the new. The blood transfusion was brutal. Xiao Yan's body weakened rapidly, his face pale and gaunt, as if death were claiming him. But Xiao Xuan warned him not to fall unconscious. If he did, the purification would fail. Only through endurance could the true bloodline be awakened. Beside the pool, Xun'er watched with clenched fists and trembling heart. Every second of Xiao Yan's agony struck her soul. Still, she remained by his side. 10 days passed. Xiao Yan's body had withered to skin and bones. His breathing was faint, his aura weak, almost lifeless. Yet he held on. Xiao Xuan remained calm but vigilant. This was the final trial. On the 12th day, the pool stirred. Blood bubbles surfaced, and a vortex formed with Xiao Yan at its center. Xiao Xuan's eyes lit up. He formed a complex hand seal and released a blood-colored light into the pool. Suddenly, the pool began boiling. Streams of blood-colored liquid, rich with ancient energy, surged into Xiao Yan's body. His pale skin regained color. Watching anxiously, Xun'er asked Xiao Xuan if the sealed energy within the pool would now boost Xiao Yan's strength. Xiao Xuan nodded slowly. The sheer volume of energy could elevate Xiao Yan directly to the peak of 9-star Dou Zun, but with a catch. Such external boosts could create instability, making future breakthroughs to Dou Xing nearly impossible. But Xiao Yan was not reckless. As a pharmacist, he had always respected the limits of shortcuts. Even now, he was cautious, absorbing only what was needed. Xiao Xuan trusted him. A month passed. Xun'er entered cultivation to restore her energy, while Xiao Yan remained submerged in the blood pool, absorbing power in silence. As time flowed, the red hue of the pool began fading. The energy within it was gradually consumed. Another year went by. By now, all that remained was the quiet hum of power within Xiao Yan's unmoving form. But the calm would not last. With a sudden roar, the pool exploded with thunderous force. Xiao Yan's aura erupted violently. In mere moments, his cultivation soared from 6-star Dou Zun to the 9th star, threatening to push even higher. A golden-purple glow enveloped his body. This aura was foreign, noble, unfamiliar. Xun'er and Xiao Xuan were stunned. Xiao Xuan recognized it immediately. His eyes widened in disbelief. Dragon Phoenix bloodline. He had only heard of it in ancient records. A fusion of the Taishu ancient dragon and the ancient sky phoenix. A mythical power even rarer than the Dou Di bloodline. It shouldn't have existed in the Dou Qi continent, and yet it was now emerging from Xiao Yan. Xun'er was confused. She knew of Ziyan's lineage as a Taishu ancient dragon, but she couldn't comprehend how Xiao Yan possessed any link to the ancient sky phoenix. Neither could Xiao Xuan. He speculated that perhaps during the blood cleansing, the Dragon Phoenix bloodline was triggered in defense, resisting the Xiao clan's blood infusion. The situation was dangerous. If the two bloodlines could not coexist, the collision could destroy Xiao Yan from within. Xiao Xuan looked towards Xun'er. He had one desperate idea: fuse the Xiao clan's bloodline with the Gu clan's through her help. A reconciliation made possible only because of the Dragon Phoenix's balancing power. But it would be risky. The blood of two Dou Di lineages was not meant to mix. Xun'er hesitated, knowing the dangers. Drawing too much of her own bloodline would weaken her and possibly alert the Gu clan. But Xiao Yan's life hung in the balance. Steeling herself, she agreed. She drew blood from her fingertips. It dripped into the pool, each drop fusing with the crimson water, forming a fist-sized sphere of bloodline essence. Her face paled from the loss, but she gave all she could. Xiao Xuan bowed in gratitude. She had risked her future for Xiao Yan. Then, with precise control, Xiao Xuan released seals that forced the blood pool to rotate rapidly. The golden-purple Dragon Phoenix energy within Xiao Yan was suppressed. His body trembled as the new fusion began. Xiao Xuan summoned blood springs that surged into Xiao Yan's body, each one containing the merged essence of three great lineages. Inside Xiao Yan, the bloodlines battled furiously. But at the height of conflict, the Dragon Phoenix bloodline surged forth once more, not as an enemy, but as a bridge. It wrapped around the Dou Di bloodlines of both Xiao and Gu, merging them into something entirely new. A trilineage bloodline. Xiao Xuan watched in awe. Although the amount of ancient blood was limited, the fusion succeeded. It settled deep within Xiao Yan's heart. It would take years to fully circulate, but the potential it held was extraordinary. Whether Xiao Yan could use it to ascend to the Dou Di realm would now depend entirely on his will and luck. Xiao Xuan withdrew his control, allowing the process to stabilize. He told Xun'er to continue cultivating nearby. She had already recovered most of her strength, and now all that remained was to wait. Another year passed. Xiao Yan had not stirred once. Yet the blood pool had lost all its color. The ancient energy was gone, absorbed completely. On one fateful day, the still waters rippled once again. Then, in a burst of raw power, Xiao Yan's eyes opened. His aura erupted, surging like a divine storm. In 10 minutes, his cultivation soared to peak 9-star Dou Zun. But then, something rare happened. Xiao Yan suppressed it. He didn't allow the surge to carry him into instability. His aura gently dropped, first to 7-star, then rose again to a steady 8-star peak. Xiao Xuan and Xun'er watched in silence, their hearts full. Xiao Yan had passed the trial. He had inherited 3 divine bloodlines, survived unbearable pain, resisted temptation, and emerged reborn, not just in strength, but in spirit. And this is only the beginning of his legend.